Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Erlengrat. Yeah, we'll do the planting first. I think doing the planting first would probably be the best option for it. I haven't got very much left in here now. We've only got 660 litres left. So it's just going to tip out the very last little bit. Weeds are still creeping down across the field, and then yeah, I'm wondering if we should get a weeder, because like that's going to help us out. If every 10% does help, I think. I can't remember exactly how much the weeds do, but I mean obviously we can't go and spread herbicide on the fields. That's not something that we can do. But I mean, yes, I know you can with the game, just for anybody that has come along later, but we don't, because we're doing organic, so we're not using any spray like that. Remove bad weeds, we lose 20%, and then obviously we've got the ploughing that we're going to be doing soon. So plough after corn, potatoes, sugar beet, and sugar cane, otherwise we lose 15%. Remove the weeds, otherwise we get a 20% hit. So we do want to get rid of these weeds, if we can. Spreading lime is fine. Lime is an organic product, so we can go and do that. Fertilizer is plus 25% each time as well. So we should be able to get just about everything. Now, the only downside to some of the stuff that we're doing is if we sell the BGA, we're not going to have access to any more fertilizer. So I got one round of fertilizer going on the field here. The field that we've got over there has already got a double lot of fertilizer because of ploughing in the grass that we had there. If you plough in fully grown grass, it does actually turn into another layer of fertilizer. So we've got that bit over there. What we haven't got is the... no, what we won't have is the digestate available for the final round after we've done some more planting. And I'm still considering planting sugar beet in here. It's just whether or not I can afford a sugar beet harvester. And that bit, I don't know that we can. And when we're down to 30... Selling the BGA is going to get us 120,000. That's a potato harvester. We've got that one. We can get the potato harvesters, tractor-drawn potato harvester, goes on here, it picks it all up. We don't need to be messing around with scraping them off the ground with a bucket. Despite the fact that that did actually work really well, and I'll admit that I did quite enjoy doing it. I didn't think I would. I'm not a fan of doing loader work in this game, and I've never been shy about admitting to that. Never really been a fan of loader work. Now, I will do it from time to time, just to add an extra element to videos and so on. But overall, I prefer to avoid it. Now, what do we got in here? You are down to 29,500. So 26,000 will put everything in. So I'm going to unhitch that one there. I'm going to go over and I'm going to get these two trailers. And by the time we get those two unloaded, I'll get them over there and unloaded, we'll have most of the space that we want in this thing in order to tip them all out anyway. We'll need a little bit more. 29,000 exactly in there. So if I just speed this up so it drops down to... Okay, there's plenty right there. I don't need to do any more than that. So I can go here, here, and then I can just go back to one like that. Right, we tip both of these out, then we can reverse back up there and get the next two loads loaded up, and then they can sit there while we go and spread a little bit more slurry on the fields. And to be honest, once we've done the spreading, there seems to be very little point in keeping the slurry spreader. Start this one up. Now we're missing strips. We're coming down over the hill a bit more, so we're starting to miss more strips. There doesn't seem to be a lot of point in keeping that muck spreader. We're going to finish this field here. Doesn't need anything else. I'm not going to be ready to start planting the potatoes in the other field today. We're not going to have time to go and do that. I got to get all of that field ploughed. So I'm not going to sit and watch the ploughing take place in that field. That is just going to be too dull and uninteresting, so we're not going for that option. which means that we're going to want to do something slightly different. And, well, we can wait till tomorrow and then we can start planting potatoes tomorrow. Like, that wouldn't be a problem. We could go and do that. But if we do that, if we wait for a day before we start planting potatoes, we either need to keep hold of the BGA for a bit longer, or we just accept that we're not going to have a second round of fertilizer over on those potatoes. And I think option B is probably the best one, because that way we can get hold of the potato planter. Sorry, not the planter, the harvester. But we can also get hold of the potato planter. We'll be able to use a new potato planter to do the planting over on that bit. And we won't have to use this little tiny one here, which, quite frankly, does take rather a long time to get through all of the field. And yeah, I just think it would be better if we could have a slightly bigger machine. The standard potato planter is 20 grand, but it's infinitely better for doing this job than this one is. Certainly on, like, the amount of land that we're now wanting to get covered. Those weeds are catching up with us. I wonder if we're going to be able to finish this before the weeds get here. Usually you're trying to stay ahead of the rain. We're trying to stay ahead of the weed. Slightly different. I'll be honest, I never thought I would hear myself saying that I'm struggling to stay ahead of the weed. And you can take that how you like. But yes, at the moment we are staying ahead of the weed, and we will hopefully keep it that way, because if we like work that into the land, then we can go over it with the weeder, but then when it comes back again a bit later, what you end up with is where the weeder didn't actually physically remove weeds from soil, it will end up causing problems. Right. Problem with trying to inch this thing along a wall is that it's very easy to not be able to turn quite sharp enough with the trailer. There we go, that's better. You need to turn a little bit, really. Put it back to there. That's about right, I think. Put that one out there, and then... Right, the only thing I need to do now is get this one hooked on and then load up this bucket. So I'm going to go and start this off by... I'm just going to hook that one on there. So let's put 100 litres into my front bucket. And then I'm going to go over this side. Start that one up. And I'm going to go right into this side here. And I'm going to take that material there and put it into the bucket. Will it reach the trailers from here? Surprisingly, it does actually reach the trailers. I genuinely didn't think that it would. Not from all the way back here. I mean, yes, it does look a little bit peculiar, the way that it's chopping it through the wall, but it's still doing it. That's the important thing. No lives were lost in the creation of this trailer load of silage, and that's the important part, I feel. I think we should focus on our successes rather than on our disasters and losses. That's what we need to be doing here. So get this last little bit. So we're still gonna we'll fill this trailer up completely. Both of these trailers, everything will be filled up completely here. And then there'll be another load as well after this. Now, are you going to switch? Yeah, it will switch back to that one. Bit more gone into there. So that's everything gone into that one. Does it show? It does 29,317. Wow. That little heap right there is 29,307, which is more than what I'm holding right here. Let me just shut that one off and do that. Still saying 29,317. It's not counting the bit that was in my bucket. I was wondering if it was counting the bit that was in the bucket, that was all. It doesn't look like it did. And 27,110 right in there. I'm just bringing these... Actually, you know, we don't want to be bringing these forward just for a minute. We want to be leaving that there because we got to wait for the silage to be processed. So I do have this that I can chuck through. So I can tip that one bucket full there. Now I could go and get another bucket full. I don't have enough capacity in here to go and do that. But when we come back again, I might just get a bucket full of silage out of there, which means that we should then be able to get all the rest of the silage into the trailers. And we should also be able to get all of it into the BGA before the end of the day, which means that we can sell the whole lot. And that means I'm also going to have to go and sell that one right there. We'll make sure we do that. Right, let's bring you under here and reload this one again. 192,000 litres of digestate. Hasn't gone down since last time. All the extra that we're putting in. It's fine. It's not any kind of an issue. Let's not swing out round and take the windscreen out on that car with our bucket. They get a bit upset when you do things like that. These car drivers get unreasonably upset if you smash in the front of their car. I can't understand why. Makes no sense to me. Why would they get upset by something so trivial? I have to get into the fields to get my muck spread on the fields. Surely you understand that. Therefore, I must take priority. If you couldn't be bothered to wait, then what were you doing? Rushing to pick your kid up from school? It's high time they learned that life is full of bitter disappointment, and that includes thinking that their parents have forgotten all about them. I know that they may only be 5, but still. They can. Little Johnny can wait. Little Johnny can stay there in school and learn how disappointing life really can be, while you let me through with my load of muck, because the potatoes won't wait. Little Johnny will want his chips for his tea. And if I can't grow potatoes, little Johnny gets no chips. And then you'll be teaching him that life is full of disappointments once again, because he can't have chips. Do you see the dilemma that we're all constantly faced with? It'd be a lot easier if you just let me through. Little Johnny can wait. Okay. I don't know who I'm talking to there, to be honest. I'm sure someone out there is listening. Probably just shaking their head and covering their face with their palm. And let's go. Right, I'm just going to start that one on there with the hired help, and then I'm going to pretend that it's not actually doing anything. I'm going to completely ignore it, and I'm going to go down here. So, because we're getting further and further down the hill, we're leaving more and more bits behind. I'm not going to bother going back over and cleaning those up now. Going to let that one finish right there, and then I'm going to rush off down here, and we're going to get this one again. Well, I say I'm not going to do it. We both know that I'm going to do something there. I just don't quite know what. Now, there's the last of the potatoes. We're only 99% this time. That is the last of the tatey pose. So I will get a little bit of this line right here. This line that I'm absolutely not going to get and that I'm going to completely leave behind. I'm just going to take this little bit here. And then as I got to turn round and go the other way, I guess we could also get, you know, the little bit that's right here. We could do that bit. You know, just to help things out a little bit. There, couldn't we? There's no harm done. And, well, we need to kind of straighten our tractor out a little bit, don't we? So, if we straighten out going down that way, like that, and then, well, we could just, you know, drop that one down as we're heading up the hill a little bit here, where we've straightened out, and let's do that. Really struggles with that, doesn't it? And, yeah, okay, so we'll leave those bits up there. I'm not driving all the way up there to do that. So I'll go to there and drop you down. If I press H here, it'll actually go on a little bit further and he'll leave a bit behind. So if I do it there like that, he's now just going to carry on and do his work. Going to do a magnificent job. We'll give him a pat on the back and we'll tell him that he's wonderful. So I'm going to go over... I wonder where he's going for a minute. I thought he was driving off into the middle of town. Apparently he's not, but he is still causing trouble. So I'm going to go up here. And I think I can see a little bit there. So I think I want to start there like that. Just go in a straight line along there. Is that the end of it? That's the end of it right there. So I'll turn that one off. And then I'm going to, yeah, see, when I look at it from this angle up here, I can see it a lot better. And I go whizzing all the way back down to the bottom there again. Around, and that's where I want to go, roughly. Hired help this time. A little bit too far close on the right-hand side just there. But that's fine. I think we're actually going to get this whole field done now with the rest of this load. He's going to go up to that point right there. And then it's one more pass across the field. So he's going to go all the way up to the end there. That car's going to go whizzing off like that. It would be genuinely awesome if we could go all the way up that cliff up there, up that mountain, to see the resort at the top. Stand up there. That's not something we can do. Are we going to have enough in our tanker to be able to do this last run down here? It is only the last... This is the last run. This is the last of it right here. But is there going to be enough digestate to actually do that and finish off this field for good? There is. I can tell you that already. There is definitely enough there. Do I want to go and get a load of digestate and bring it back so that we've at least got a little bit that we can go and put on this field afterwards, despite the fact that we won't have anything else that we can do with it? It's not going to cover a great deal. We can just get like once around the outside, and that's going to be about it. I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that's actually a bit of a waste of time. The only other option that we have really is hope that we get enough money come in from the digestate. Not the digestate, sorry. We get enough money come in from the BGA in general, and we could go and preempt it and get some sugar beet planted in there now. We're going to buy a planter, which is a much cheaper machine to buy. Okay. I don't want to put seed in that bucket. Try and keep that one away. I wanted to try and put this one back in front of that stump grinder, because I'm not using that stump grinder at the moment. Go back over there, like that. Put you back there. Okay. You can stay there, and the planter is doing a wonderful job. The weeds are getting further and further down the field. I might end up getting a rake to deal with those weeds, I think. That is something that we might go and do. I'm not going to do it just for a minute. So the next job that I want to do, well, there's two things I want to do. I want to start ploughing up this field right here, but I've still got a bit of silage that I want to deal with over at the BGA. So we're going to focus on that. That does mean it'll be fast-forwarding the time a little bit more. And that means that the weeds on just the very bottom part of the field are probably not going to be treated properly. We will, I think, buy the rake. So it's only good if we get the smallest rake that we can. It doesn't take very long to do that. Not with the small-scale field that we've got. So we'll be able to work through that quite quickly. And the smallest rake is 20,000. But that's going to be fine, because the potato harvester that we're going to get is about the same price as what the BGA is. And we've got all this money going to come in from this silage as well. So there's a fair bit of silage that we are actually selling. We've got a number of double trailer loads. I don't know exactly how many we've done now. I think we've done 5, and I think we're working on... Have we done 5? I think we've done 5, and we're working on number 6 right now. So we've got a lot of silage there, a lot of the double trailer loads gone in. I'll put this in here. We've got 2 more double trailer loads to go in as well. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go in here, and I'm actually going to scoop up a bucket full of silage right here. So I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to grab that one there like that. Let's fill it up completely because of the snow blower. It's now decided it's just going to keep blowing snow. And I'm going to go over here. And how are we looking? This one is on for 2,900. So we're actually doing all right there. So I can tip everything out of this bucket. I should, in theory, be able to get everything else out of that silage pit now. In theory. So we grab the 24,000 litres that we got in here. Bring that over. And I want to just fast forward time enough so that I can dump that lot out. I'm actually going to take this down to about 20,000 litres. So I think we're going to have to go to about 5 o'clock. Something like that. That means the weeds are going to spread right across where we're doing our planting at the moment. The potato harvester is just turning around, so we need to go and reload that one as well. There. And we'll put it on that for a minute. So then we'll go over and we will see the potato planter here. So the weeds are up to that point. And yeah. That means that they'll end. Most likely there will be more weeds that will come back on this lower part of the field here, and they'll end up sort of causing us some problems later. Right now, we're not going to worry about them. Now, I'm also not going to use the other seed drill this time. I'm going to use this one. And I'm wondering if this angle might make it a bit better. Probably not. Oh. Right, well, that worked. Just. Still very, very twitchy. Acting very, very peculiar, but it did it, and that's the important thing. So let's go on up this way and let you keep going with what you're doing. I'm gonna actually do now, because we're coming almost to the end of this field, I'm going to manually do once down around this edge here. So I'm going to come down here just to sort of so that we can see where the outside edge of this field actually is. I don't know if it's particularly straight all the way along this bottom bit here. And it seems like it's going to be alright down through there. There's a few odd bits, kind of like where it sticks out a bit. That's why I wanted to do it manually, so that we can just sort of tidy up that edge, because then the hired help isn't going to get all confused with it. At least that's what I'm hoping. Although we know what the hired help is like. The hired help is able to get confused with anything. If there's one thing that we can rely on with the hired help, that is its complete and total unreliability. That's the joy of the hired help. It's reliable and it's unreliability. So let's take you up and over like this. And then run you up there. I know I did just leave behind a little tiny bit. That's fine. Don't worry about that. I'm wondering, I think if you go over the ground with a rake, even before the weeds come up, I think it stops the weeds from coming up again. I don't know. It does work with herbicide, although we can't go through with herbicide and preemptively spray and have a hired help doing it. For some reason it won't allow you to preemptively spray with hired help. You've got to be treating weeds in order for a hired help to actually be able to put the herbicide on the field. But, you know, it's a minor detail really, isn't it? Okay, so let's go and tip out this lot right here. We've got a double lot. Let's start up the engine. Gentlemen, start your engines, please. And there we go. Right. Let's tip both of those out. And then once they're done, we whiz back over there for the final 2 trailer loads of silage that we've got in the BGA right here. That one's still going over there, isn't it? It's a good job that's not generating additional silage, or we could be here all night trying to empty that lot out. Right. I'm going to start moving this before they've even closed themselves down, just because. Because why not? Right, I'm going to bring you around like that. Yeah, I'm never going to do that, am I? I let it turn too sharp. I let the back one turn a little bit too sharp there. You've got to... The back one can't turn too sharp. You've got to try and keep the second trailer from... not... You've got to stop the back one from going too sharply at any point. Now, the angle that I'm going here is not ideal, but I can actually use this to straighten it out a little bit. So we'll go back there, and now I need to push this trailer here. So it angles out the other one, straightens it out a bit. There we go. Right. Straightening it a little bit too much. Right round sharp there. And I'll bring that one up to there. Perfect. Okay. So I just said that we've finished our task. Oh, he turned that way and he went up there to go and do the little tiny bit that he left behind. So what we're going to do now, because it's getting to a sharper corner there, I'm going to go down this way. And I'm going to set the hired help going from this point down here. So we're just going to bring him up there like that. And press H here. And then he's going to sort of work back towards the middle of the field. At least that's what I'm hoping. Seems to be able to cope with it. We'll leave him carry on with that. Hopefully he will be just fine. And we can go over to this one. Start you back up again. And all I've got to do is get that one hooked on. And I should be able to get everything else that's in here. Once that's done, I then want the milling machine itself. We will keep it for now because there's other things that we'll be able to go and do with it. Now, it was pointed out that I could use the milling machine for picking up potatoes rather than a bucket. Yes, I could have, but because this hardcore series is technically supposed to be as realistically as possible as well, I didn't think there would be much of a market for chips straight off of the fields. I mean, yes, chips are very nice. Everybody likes chips, or fries, depending, you know, some of you call them fries rather than chips. But it doesn't seem like, I'll be honest, I don't think there's going to be much of a market for chips off of the fields. People generally prefer to make their own chips rather than you serving them already sliced up. And this one isn't going to be picking up potatoes in a way that is going to present the food in anything other than pre-sliced. You will dump 3,000 litres in there. I'll go back here. That's it. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.